We actually believe Jesus is king. And because Jesus is king, then that town should obey Christ. Putting a label Christian on a nation and just saying it's a Christian nation and, well, is everyone in that nation regenerate? Well, no. And so the pushback on this is, well, how about a Christian institution? Like G3, for example. Is everyone in that institution regenerate? How about any Christian organization? How about a Christian church? Does that mean that everyone within that church is a Christian? Well, no, that doesn't mean that. And you could go down the line. You could say, well, how about a Christian Christian school? Is everyone in that school a Christian? No. But there are standards that they have to adhere to outwardly, and we have the freedom to have Christian schools and have, for now, and have Christian organizations and all of those things. But it's really not an issue of, and so is it a Christian nation? I don't even necessarily mind the language of Christian nation, but I think we need to. We're not out to create a theocracy. We're not out to create a utopia. That's not the gospel. That's not the goal of the Christian. That's not what we're called to do. That's not the New Testament mandate to the church, is to go and make disciples. Go preach the gospel. Jesus sent the disciples out 2 by 2. And he said, if they don't receive you, shake the dust off your feet and move on. That completely contradicts the idea that if they were to create a theonomy, they shouldn't shake the dust off their feet and move on. If they're rejected, Jesus is king, right? Jesus is Lord. That society, that town should be under the lordship of Christ. They must obey Christ. This is the argumentation they use. We actually believe Jesus is king. And because Jesus is king, then that town should obey Christ. And so when those apostles go out 2 by 2, when they're rejected, they should not shake the dust off their feet and move on. No way. You don't reject Christ. You don't reject his lordship. Okay, town, let's set up a theocracy. That's their argumentation. That's my argumentation against theirs from what we see in Scripture. We don't see a pattern in Scripture of setting up a theocracy. We see a pattern of preaching the gospel. To watch more about the G3 controversy and how people are trying to cancel them and maybe even cancel you next, be sure to watch this video right here.